Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. Queen Company's Black Friday sale has just started. If you want to go and check out all the amazing products, I have a direct link listed in the description box below. I know things will sell out really quickly, so I wouldn't wait. One of the items listed is this brand new suitcase shaker kit. So let me show you everything that is included in this kit. There is a full 6x6 paper pad. So there's 24 sheets, 16 different styles, and this is the Petite Patterns paper pad. So it has a nice rainbow assortment of colors. One side has a tone-on-tone chevron design, and then the other side has a tone-on-tone tiny little polka dots. So really pretty, very versatile for any different card themes. And since this is a suitcase shaker kit, all of the pieces are shaped like a suitcase. So here's the set of dies. You'll get the outline for the suitcase, and then it has the little handle and then the little piece that goes in the corners. And I love all of that faux stitching design. And then there are 6 of the foam shaker pieces, and this matches up perfectly with that die. So you can just pop out the center. It fits just right on top of that die, and then it has the little handle on top. So you'll get a total of 6. And then there's also the matching acetate pieces, so you can seal all of those shaker toppings in your card. And then this kit is fun because it has 6 of the card bases that are the same shape as the dies. So you have this little suitcase shaped card bases. You'll get 6 of those, and then there's also 6 envelopes. So it's all ready to go for you to mail off your cards. And then the last item is the little set of stamps. These are all sentiment stamps, perfect for a variety of different themes, but definitely very travel related. There's the Miss You already. So that's everything you'll receive in the suitcase shaped shaker kit. Another item for the Black Friday special is the new release of all of the outline dies to go with some of the older kits. The outline dies are a fairly new item, and they were very popular, so Queen Company decided to release them for all of their previous kits. I'm so excited to have all of these sets. It just makes it that much easier to make the shaker card because you can cut out that background. And then there's even a couple sets like the stars and the hearts that you could use without a shaker card. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to make 4 cards using this suitcase kit. I cut out the frame using the teal chevron paper side, and then for the background I'm just using some cardstock from my stash. Now this kit does not include any of the outline dies, so I just cut a rectangle piece and rounded the corners. And I believe my measurements are 5 1/8 of an inch by 3 1/4 inch. So it's the perfect size to put behind the foam piece. So I just adhered that to my card base, and then I have a variety of different shaker toppings. This is a very large shaker card, so you will need to put quite a bit of shaker toppings inside. And I'm using a large variety. I have some of the sequins, I have pops, the diamonds. I think I also have the little squares, the little princess cut squares. So I'm using pink and then also the teal because I love the 2 colors together. So once I get all of my shaker toppings in there, I'll seal those in place with the coordinating acetate. I love that these are all pre-cut, real simple to use. Now I'll just use some liquid adhesive. I'm going to glue on the little handle for my suitcase. Did that in a little brighter pink. And then I'll put the frame of the suitcase on. Make sure to get those 2 pieces going down the front, I guess the straps. And then I used a couple of acrylic blocks just to hold it in place while the glue dries. So I'll go ahead and attach all of these little corners, and I used the pink polka dot paper for those. Aren't those colors just beautiful together? I think every time I've used this paper pad, I've combined these 2 colors just because I love the combination. My 2 favorite colors. Just using liquid adhesive, I have Queen Company's sheer glue. And it's a clear glue and it works perfectly for attaching all of these pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp a sentiment. This is sending you smiles across the miles. And I cut out this shape using one of Queen Company's foundation dies. They have 5 different sets and I love all of them, and they have some great shapes for sentiments. So I'll just attach that on the middle of my suitcase. And then I'm going to embellish this card using a variety of Queen Company bling. So I have some jelly gems, some spirals, and then also some petite posies. And I'm just staying with the pink and teal colors. So this card has a lot of sparkle, definitely more feminine than a masculine card. So there is my finished card, and that's card number 1. Now for card number 2, I decided to make it more on the masculine side. I'm using this dark blue chevron paper for the background, and then I just used some brown cardstock from my stash for that frame of the suitcase. So I'm removing the backing on the foam piece first and then attaching that background piece, and then I'll put some liquid adhesive on there and then attach it to the card base. And I find it easier if you open the card base up first. So give it a nice good press. And then I'm keeping that card base open until I have all of those shaker toppings sealed inside. So I have a variety of different shaker toppings again. I have some diamonds, I have some pearlies, and then also some of their ombre pearls. And the brown pearlies are a refill from one of Queen Company's, either their fall kit or Christmas kit from last year. They always sell the refills, and I love that they had some of the browns, so I did pick up a couple extra refills just to have those on hand. So I'll start attaching all of the pieces to assemble my suitcase. I have the handle cut out in that same brown cardstock. Put glue on the back side of this frame. And then I'll hold it in place again with my acrylic blocks. And I did let it sit way longer than what you saw. I do stop the camera. Now for the sentiment, I'm just going to use a simple hello sentiment. I like that that's included on this small stamp set. And I decided I'm going to emboss it using some gold embossing powder. So I treated the paper with some anti-static powder first, stamped it with some Versamark ink, and now I have some gold embossing powder. Wiping away any of those extra little pieces, I'll get out my heat gun, and I am using my tweezers because this is a tiny piece and I don't want to burn my fingers. So there's that beautiful golden shine. And I did cut out another stitched circle die cut in a lighter blue color. And now I'm going to work on some foil for the little corners on this suitcase. So I want them to look like metal. And Queen Company has a variety of different foils, and I'm choosing the metallics. I'm using their Gluber sheets, cut out a small piece, attached it to just some scrap cardstock. To remove that clear side of the Gluber, I just use a piece of Scotch tape. And now to attach the foil, you use that silver kind of muted side and just attach it right on top of that sticky Gluber adhesive and peel it away. That's all you have to do. You don't need any heat tools, any time to set it, no extra machines. And then I just used the die cut and ran it through my die cut machine. And now I have these 4 little corners that look like metal. I thought that was really fun. I love using Queen Company's foils. And I'll just attach all of those using some more of the liquid adhesive. And then I'll attach my sentiment, and I'm just layering these 2 circles, putting the larger one behind. And then I did decide to pop up the sentiment circle just with some thin foam squares. And since this is a masculine card, it's not going to have a whole lot of extra bling, but I did decide I wanted to wrap a piece of twine or tie a piece of twine around the handle. And the acetate piece, it actually covers up that hole in the handle. So I'm just using a little X-Acto knife to trim that part away. And then I have one of Queen Company's trio trims in the blue. And I'm going to tie it on that left-hand side of the handle. I'm just going to put a bow there. I think twine still works for masculine cards since it's not like a fancy ribbon or anything. Then I did pull out just a couple of Queen Company's different blings. I have some pearls and then also some solid goosebumps. I didn't want to go too crazy with it since it is a masculine card. I really like how the brown pearls look. I guess it's Chocolate Delight is the color. I think it goes perfectly on this card. So there is the finished card, and this is card number 2. Now moving on to card number 3. I'm going to use some brighter colors this time. I cut out the frame of the suitcase using some black cardstock, and then the background that's behind the shaker is just some polka dot paper in red. So I'm assembling this exactly the same as I did the previous 2 cards. I opened up the card base so I could attach this foam piece and the background. And then I'm just rubbing on the inside to get that glue sort of spread out. And then I'm using some of Queen Company's magic toppings. This goes with their magical characters collection. And I also have some jelly gems and then some diamonds. I think this card would be perfect to give to someone who's heading off to Disneyland or Disney World. So I'm sticking with those traditional Disney colors, putting a nice variety of toppings in here, making sure to get that extra sparkle from the diamonds and the jelly gems. Go ahead and peel off the outside, the little backing piece on the foam, attach my acetate. And then I'll attach my handle, did that one in red. And then I'll attach the frame to the suitcase. And I almost forgot to put the glue on those 2 strips going down the front. Glad I remembered before all of that glue dried. And then I just cut out the little corners of the suitcase using some yellow cardstock from my stash. I think the color matched perfectly with those little Mickey head yellow toppings inside the shaker. So then once I get all of those corners in place, I can start working on the sentiment. So I already went ahead and stamped it. I used one of Queen Company's foundation die sets with this stitched sentiment banner. This is Bon Voyage. I'll just attach that to the card using some more liquid adhesive. And then I cut out a variety of different stars using some of the pattern paper in yellow and then red. I'm just trying to figure out placement, and I decided not to use the red star. I felt like it blended in just a little too much with the background. And I'm just going to pop those stars up using some thin foam squares. So still trying to use that red one, and decided to pass on it. I wanted to use some more of the trio trims, this time in red. So I'm just going to cut away that extra piece of acetate so I can wrap this through the handle. Just tie a bow on that right hand side. And I do end up fussing with this bow quite a bit. Just wasn't getting the way I wanted it for the first time. So once I get that to the way I want it, I'm going to pull out some more of those toppings. And this is the black color of those little Mickey heads. And I'm going to glue 1 in each of the corners. Thought I'd just add a little more to that whole Disney theme. And then just a final touch, I'm going to add just a few pieces of bling. And these are the red stars. So there is my finished card, and this is card number 3. I love these bright and cheerful colors. Now moving on to my final card, this is card number 4. I'm going to show how to use the kit without making a shaker card. Queen Company's dies are super cute as shaker cards, but they work really great as non-shaker cards as well. So I'm doing them basically the same concept, except I'm skipping the whole foam piece. And instead of using one of the suitcase card bases, I'm just going to attach this onto an A2 size card base. So this is going to be a very purple card. I have just some lavender paper for the background. I used the chevron side of the pattern paper for behind the suitcase, and then just a darker purple cardstock for the frame. And then I have some white pearlescent paper that I'm attaching or I used for all of these little corners. And I just have that 1/8 of an inch of the card base showing in the white, just to add that little extra white, so it's kind of purple and white. So doing it this way, you can make a card that's really easy to mail, but you could still add some extra dimension, which I will be doing on some of the other elements on this card. But sometimes it's nice to have that option of mailing a card without paying any extra postage. So I used another one of Queen Company's foundation dies. This is one of their stitched banners. I stamped the sentiment, "Congratulations, let the adventure begin." So this would be great for a graduation card. And I'm just going to pop that up using some foam dimensional tape. Put that sort of centered on the suitcase. And then just for a little bit of decoration, I'm pulling out some of Queen Company's flowers. And I decided not to use purple, so it's going to have a little pop of yellow and then some of this teal. And then I did pull out an assortment of bling, but I couldn't decide where I wanted to put it. It almost seemed like too much. So I went very simple on the bling on this card. I think the flowers were already enough. I did use a couple of jelly gems around the sentiment and then just a few pieces on that lower corner. You see, I keep changing my mind, can't decide what I want. I really like the way this card turned out, especially with the pop of color from those flowers. Yes, I'm still trying to decide if I want more bling, and I do end up not using any other pieces. So there is my final card, and this is card number 4. So here's just a quick recap of the 4 cards I made using Queen Company's Suitcase Shaker kit. Their Black Friday sale is going on right now. Quantities are limited, so if there's something that you're wanting, I suggest not waiting. I have links in the description box below for all of the products that I used. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.